In this lesson, we are going to explore our data set, and the name of that data set is Immigration to Canada. The data set is available in the form of a Excel file. This is my Excel file, and see, these are the columns. Here we have the name of the countries. If I will scroll, you will see these are the countries name, area name, and we have some other columns as well. Starting from 1980 till 2013, we have numbers available that from each year how many people are coming Canada from different countries. We have to analyze this data with the help of Jupyter Notebook. In Jupyter Notebook, we will use Matplotlib, Pandas, NumPy, etc. Right? So here I have written few points which we have to discuss in this lesson. The first point, we will see the dataset Immigration to Canada, which I had shown you just recently in the form of our Excel file from 1980 to 2013, and data is available in the form of Excel file. Then we will apply some basic pandas functions on our data. After that, we will apply some intermediate functions, indexing and selection. After that, we will visualize our data with the help of line plots, or we can say line graph. We have to import matplotlib as well. Right, so okay, let's go start it. So first of all, you have to import NumPy as NP. NumPy is useful for many scientific computing in Python, while import pandas as PD, primary data structure library. So I have to click on this run button. It means asterisk sign means it is executing. So it is it is done now, right? Okay, now our second step is, as I have told you, that we have an Excel file, so we have to download XLRD. So this is the syntax you have to write down in quotation: python dash m pip install upgrade pip. So whatever is the latest version, you will see it is installed here. If you want to see, or if you want to confirm whether our XLRD is installed or not, so we can use print function. Just I am going to execute it, and it means that XLRD is installed. Now next step is, we have to give some name to our data frame. As we are working on Canadian immigration, that is why I said can underscore m, right? Means Canada immigration, which is equal to pd.read underscore excel file. If you have a CSV file, then you have to write down here CSV, but in this case we have Excel, that is why I wrote Excel. And in parenthesis, from here to here, you have to give the path where you have saved your Excel file, and see the extension is XLSX. I will show you, if I will delete this R, what will happen when I will execute it. Sometimes you will get Unicode error. In order to avoid this error, you have to write down R here. When I will execute or run it, it means that it is successfully executed. Now you can specify the number of rows you'd like to see as follows, right? If we want to confirm whether our data frame is here in our Jupyter notebook, so you have to use the dot head function. We are not going to write down anything in this parenthesis. It means by default it will print first 5 records. If you want to print 10 or 25, whatever, then you have to specify. Now if you want to see the bottom 5, so you have to use dot tail function, and then blank parenthesis main, it will give you the last 5 records, right? So last 5 records. If you want 10 or 20, if I will say I need only 3, then you have to specify. Blank parenthesis means by default it will bring top 5 or bottom 5. Dot tail means bottom, and dot head means top 5. So here we have 3, right? Okay, now move on to the next. Here I have written that when analyzing a data set, whenever you have data set, it is always a good idea to start by getting some basic information about the data frame. So you have to use head function, tail function, info function, column function, data type function. So these are the basic information. So here I have written, see, the two different syntax. One is, first I will make this comment, I will show you. This is our data frame name and dot info. If I will run this syntax, you will see Individually, this is my first record because index always starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and these are the columns, these are the name of the countries, and so on. Right here, if I will write down, I will make this comment and I will remove this sign here. Now I have added verbose is equal to false. So what is the meaning of this? When I will run it, you will see the output. See, output is so small. If you will write down dot info, you will get the detailed information, but same information. Now it is in the condensed form. Here it says that we have 179 entries and our starts index starts from 0 to 178, 43 columns we have, and memory usage is 60.2 KB. Right, so it is much better to use the second syntax instead of one because both will give the same idea, but again it depends on your analysis. Now if you want to see the name of the columns, right, so again first I will use, this is my data frame name dot columns. If I will run this, we will see the difference between these two, dot columns or dot columns dot values as well. To get the list of the column headers or column name, you can say, I can show you here, right? So then you can read it properly. When I will run it, so see, here is the index dot columns will give you the output in the form of index, and see these are all the names of our columns. But now if I will add values, everything is same, only dot values. So see, then we will compare the output. Keep in mind, here is the index. When I will run it, now it is array. Now what is array, what is index, where we have to use, I will all cover in this course. So here this is the array and these are the names of our columns. Right, okay, to get the list of indices you can use dot index. So see, same thing here, our data frame name, then dot index dot values. When I will run this, so you will see the output is in the form of all the indexes start from 0 and the last one is 178 and the data type is integer. So if I will make this comment and I will remove this hashtag, here we are not going to use dot values and I will show you what is the output. So see the output, the same thing, it says the start index start from 0, stops at 179 and the step is 1, means it is increasing one by one. So simple, right? So again it depends, if you want you can use this or this, better to use the second one. Note, I have written a note. The default type of index and columns is not list, right? Type means data type. The data type of index and column is not list. I will show you when I will run this. See, this is the data frame name dot column dot index. When I will run, it says class pandas dot course. I see here. This is not the list. If you want to convert the data type to list, so what you have to do, you have to use the to list function. Same, you have to write down first the data frame name dot columns dot to list, here index to list. When I will execute it, you will see now the class is list, the class is list. This is the list for column, this class is list for the index. So by default their behavior is not list, but we can convert to list by using to list function. Now here I have written two comments. To view the dimensions of the data frame, means if you want to check how many rows and how many columns you have, then you have to use dot shape function. When we will run it, so first one always represents the x-axis, this is the y-axis, y-axis is the columns, these are the records. So it means 179 rows and 43 columns we have in our data frame. Here one more note I have written, the main types stored in pandas objects are float, means these are the data types, integer, boolean, date time, into this 64 ns, this is the journal format and this is the specific format. What these are we will discuss all in this course, but here just you have to see that these are the different data types. And then sometimes we see int 64 or int 32, it means 2 raised to power 32, 2 raised to power 64, and we will discuss all this in our course as well. Now we have to clean our data. So let's clean the data set to remove a few unnecessary columns. So you can use the drop function. First we will see our data frame. So see, these are our data frames. Type is one column, coverage, OD name, area, these are our all the columns, and so far we have 43 columns. If I will show you, if you will count, these are 40, see here, 43 columns and one row. We want to drop some columns which are unnecessary, so we have to use dot drop function. How do you have to write down the syntax? This is our data frame name, dot drop, and then in parentheses you have to write down area in quotation because this is the string, and this is the region, division, type, coverage. These are the 5 columns we do not want. And access is equal to 1 means that this is column. We want to delete or drop columns. If you want to drop some rows, then you have to write down access is equal to 0. In place is equal to true means that it will be, the change will be permanently in your database. If you will remove this, these will remove only for this in this cell. When you will run your can underscore immigration, this again you will see that these columns will be there. This is now your job, your homework, you have to do it, right? So in place is equal to true means it is permanently dropped from our database. When I will execute this, you will see these columns are not there. Area, region, division, all these columns are now deleted permanently from our database. Now now we have 38 columns. Initially we had 43 columns, now we have 38 columns. Now if you want to rename some column, right, why I want to use this, see here, I will show you. This is the OD name, this is the area name, right? Area name, OD name. If we will write down country instead of OD name, it will make more sense. Area name, these are the continent. If I will say the name of this column should be continent, then it will be much more easy to understand. So here we are going to change. Let's rename the columns so that they make sense. You can use the rename. So see, I will show you rename method by passing in a dictionary of the old and the new name as follows. What is the meaning of this? Dictionary, you have to write down in the curly braces. First of all, you have to write down the name of your database, dot rename. See, if you want to drop or delete the column, then you have to use dot drop. Here you have to use dot rename. In parenthesis columns, in curly braces, write down the old name in quotation. After colon, write down what name you want, the new name, comma, this is the old name in quotation because these are the string. Exactly, you have to write down the same name whatever is in our database. If it is in the lowercase or uppercase, you have to use the same letters. And after colon, write down the new name and so on. So here I have changed 3 column name. If you want, you can change 3, 4, 5. It's up to you according to your analysis. And in place is equal to true, again the change will be permanently in our data frame. So if I want to see the columns names, this is our data frame name dot columns. When I will run it, you will see now instead of OD name we have country, instead of area name we have continent, and then reg name means we have region. So it is successfully executed. Now see, if you want to see the top 2 country, this continent, region, now it looks much better and easy to understand. You can also add a total. See here, what is the meaning of this? Here we have our from in 1980, 16 people were migrated from Afghanistan to Canada. In 1981, 39, 1982. So in so far same is for Albania. But if I say how many total peoples arrived Canada from 1980 to 2013, we do not know. We have to calculate, right? So if you want to add some columns in your data frame, so yes, you can add. So how you want, okay, how we can add this? You have to write down your data frame name. In a square bracket, write down whatever name you want to give your new column. I said total, which is equal to our data frame name dot sum access is equal to 1. Access is equal to 1 means we want to add a new column. If you want to add row, then access is equal to 0. So when I will run it again, I want to see 2 records. So see, at the end we have the total. It means from Afghanistan From 1980 to 2013, 58,639 people were migrated. From Albania, 15,699 people were migrated from 1980 to 2013. Right? So you have learned how to rename, how to drop, and how to add columns in our data frames. If you want to check the null values in your data frame, so here is the syntax, right? Is null after your data frame name dot is null and is sum function. When I will run it, so you will see all the columns are here. So these are the columns and there is no null value. It means our data frame is perfect. Now is the describe function. What the describe function does for us, the describe function after the data frame name, it will give some statistical measure, means mean, median, quartiles. I will show you when I will run. So see, these are our data frame from 1980, 81, 82, right? And so on. Count is 179 because we have 179 records. Mean of 1980 is this, and then 81 is this, and so on. Standard deviation, minimum value. These are the quartiles, right? 25%, 50, this is the median. 50% means median and maximum value. So this is the describe function. So as I have mentioned that whenever you have any data set, you have to do some basic functions. You have to apply some basic function in order to understand what type of data you have and how we can proceed. And now is the pandas intermediate level indexing and selection. This is one of the most important feature which we are going to discuss. From our database, if you want to retrieve a single column or a multiple columns, if suppose we do not want each and every column, right? We want one column. So here I have written two methods. The first method is quick and easy, but only this is one of the most important line. It works if the column name does not have spaces or special characters. Just like take the example of country. Country is one word. There is no spaces. So you can write down your data frame name dot column name and it will give you the output in the form of series. What is the series? I will show you, right, when I will run. But if it is the name of our column is country and this dollar sign name, it will not work because it says that it will work if the column name does not have any spaces or special character. This is the special character, but it will work if the two names are joined by underscore, that is acceptable. Country underscore name. Now again, this is your job that make some spaces here. If we do not have this underscore, if we have country space name, again it will not work. This is your homework, you have to practice it. Second method is that you have to write down data frame name and a square bracket you have to write down only one column name. Here you cannot write down two column name. Only if you want to retrieve one column you can use this method or this method. It will give you the output in the form of series again. But if you want to retrieve two or three columns, then you have to use double square bracket. Keep in mind, this is the difference, right? Now I will show you one by one how it will work. My first scenario is I will make this as the comment and I will remove this. So first I said our data frame name dot your column name. If there is no space, right? So there is no space. If I will execute it, it will give you, this is the series. The output is in the form of series. This is the first record and it is Asia. This is the second record. This is the Europe and so on. But same thing if you want, you can apply this function data frame name and in the square bracket in quotation write down the name of your column, whatever name, whatever column you want to retrieve and run it. Same output you will get it, but in the form of series as well. Here this is your job. Now put comma, write down country, region in quotation and run it. It will not work, right? The output is in the form of series. Now if you want the output in the form of a data frame, you have to use, see here, two brackets here, two square brackets here, and whatever name you want. This is my country, quotation, comma, continent, you have to write down in quotation because these are the strings, and these three columns are not the strings, these are integers. That is why I have written without the quotation. So the notice that country is a string. I have written country, but country, continent, region, these three are a string, and the years are integers. For the sake of consistency, we will convert all column names to a string later on, right? I will show you how you can convert these years into a string as well. But when I will run it, you will see the output is in the form of data frame, right? So if you will write down data frame dot column, you will get the output in the form of series. If you will write down only one column in the square bracket, again you will get the output in the form of series. But if you want to get output in the form of a data frame, then you have to use two brackets and see this is our output. And the first column, it does not have any name. It means these are the index, and index always starts from 0 and so on. I hope this is clear, right? Now, if you want to retrieve some rows, yes, you can also retrieve the rows as well. There are main three ways to select the rows. We will discuss all this one by one. The first is data frame name, and after this dot log, in square bracket you have to use the label. Label means whatever country you want. If I say Brazil, if I say India or China, whatever, right? I want to retrieve a record row. So the output filters by labels of the index or columns. If you will use data frame dot ilog, then you have to write down here index position. Just like suppose if I say Brazil, the index position is 22. So here you have to write down 22. But here, the same thing, you can write down Brazil. There is no need to check your data frame and find out what is the index of Brazil or India or China or Pakistan or whatever, right? So the first one is much more easy to use. I will show you with the help of example. Here I have written before we proceed, notice that the default index of the data set is a numeric range from 0 to 179. This makes it very difficult to do a query by a specific country. For example, to search for the data on Brazil, we need to know the corresponding index value. What is the meaning of this? I will show you here. See, these are the index. Our indexes starts from 0 to 179, and it is difficult, right? If I want to find out any particular country, just like suppose USA or Australia, we have to find out. Sometimes it will give us error. Maybe we will write down some wrong index number. So it says before we proceed, notice that the default index of the data set is a numeric value. This makes it very difficult. So now we are going to change that index. This can be fixed by very easily by setting the country column as the index. If the country column is index, there is no need to check. Only you can write down the country name here. Right? I will show you. See here, I will run this, my data frame. So this is our my data frame. These country is the name of column. This is continent. These are the columns names. Here index has no name. And keep in mind, see, all these are in one level, country, continent. But when I will make this country as a index, you will see there will be some difference between this line and this line, right? So how to convert country into an index? This is our data frame name dot set underscore index. You have to use this syntax, set underscore index, and we want to convert country on the index. True in place is equal to true means permanent. The opposite of set is reset. Now this is your job. If you want, you can convert back. So here I am going to run this. So see here, when I will run, it is executed successfully. If you want to check, so we can use the head function. Only we want to get two records. So here now see, our country is our index, and there is a difference between these two levels. These are the name of the columns, and now this is the country is our index. Now it will be much more easy. If you want to remove this name, just like in the previous example, we do not had any name of index. If you want to remove this, better it is okay. But if you want to remove, yes, you can remove. Data frame name dot index dot name is equal to none, and this one only for checking that whether it is removed or not. Yes, it is removed from here, so you can check. Right, now it is very easy to retrieve a row. We have to write down label, and label is our country's name. So see here, example, let's review the number of immigrants from Brazil. which is row number 22 for the following scenario. The full row data all columns, right? So first is for this one. The first is full row data all columns. How you have to write down. If you do not want print, just remove it or delete it. But if you want to write down, that is fine. So how you have to write down, print your data frame name dot log. See, one is ilog, other is log. If we are using log, then in the square bracket you have to write down the label, and the label is the name of the country. It will give you, see here, this is the output. In 1980, 2011 people 211 people were migrated from Brazil to Canada. 1981, 220 people were migrated, and so on, right? So what we did here, we have used, sorry, here we have used dot log. Okay, now these are different, these are the different methods, alternate methods. One by one we will discuss. If you want to use ilog, as I said, ilog, then you have to write down here index value. So my Brazil index is 22. So when I will run it, so you will see the same output, but here sometimes it is time consuming, and maybe we will write down 21 or 23, right? Like this, sometime we can do error. So it is much better to use only log, and in square bracket write down the name of the country or label. Okay, now what is the second method? Second method here is print index equal equal. If you want to get your answer in the form of boolean, so see, when I will run it, it is, sorry, it is equal equal Brazil, means same output, right? 1980, 211, and 1982, 220, and so on. But what output we will get if I will remove this part, right? T dot squeeze, everything is same, equal equal. So in the form of horizontal data, 1980, 211 people were migrated, 1981, 220, and so on. This equal equal means particularly we are looking some country. If you want to apply some condition, you have to use 2 times equal equal sign, right? So these are the different methods, but the first method without this I, only log and the name of the country, is much easier. But again, it's up to you or the analysis of your data. Question number 2 was for year 2013. Only we want to know how many people were migrated from Brazil to Canada in 2013. So if I will remove this, I will make this comment. This is our data frame name, and then dot log, right? Dot log in a square bracket Brazil comma 2013. When you will run it, 1714 people were migrated in 2013. So simple, right? Okay, now print, same thing here. If you are using log, it is easy, write down the name of the country comma year. But if you are using ilog, so here is the Brazil, which is on the 22nd index, and 2013 is the 36th index, because there are 38 or 39 columns. Initially we had 43 columns, 5 or 6 were dropped. So what is the remaining? The last one is the last one is 2013, which is 36th column. So again, it is time consuming. Sometime by mistake we can write down 35 or 37 or 38, right? So it is much easy. If I will run this, you will get the same output, but in ilog you have to write down the index position. This is for the row and this is for the column index positions. Okay, now move on for the third one. For third, our requirement was for years 1980 to 1985. So first I will run this, then I will show you why I executed this. See here, I will make this comment first and this one. If you are using dot log function, much easy, write down Brazil and in square bracket 1980, 81, 82, 83, and so on. When I will run it, it will give you the output, easy output, and this was our requirement. right? But the second, if I will use ilog, in ilog, this is because the index position of Brazil is 22nd on row wise, and this is what is 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this? See here, this is our index. Sorry, this yeah, from here our index will start 0, 1, 2, and this is 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is why I have written 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you are using ilog, you have to provide the index location of both the rows and the columns, which is again same output you will get, but it is time consuming. I hope it is clear. Log, only write down the name of the country, label, and whatever years you want. But ilog, you have to use the index row wise and column wise. Now now you know how to retrieve a column, how to retrieve a row from your data frame. Column names that are integers such as the years might introduce some confusion, right? Because these are integers. For example, when we are referencing the 2013, one might confuse that when the 2013 positional index, which is 36th, right? So if it is much better that we can convert these integers into a string, as we have mentioned that later on, for the consistency, for the purpose of consistency, we will convert all our columns name to integers, sorry, strings. So how we have to do this is our data frame name dot column, which is equal to list, in parenthesis write down map string, and we have to apply a string to our data frame name and all columns, execute it. And here is, see, we will give some name because this is the long name. So I said all this equal to years. When I will run this years, it will give us all the names starting from 1980 and so on. And these are strings. You know that strings are, we have to use quotation. So what we did here in this, because this is much easy when we will make our plot, I will show you the comment, what comment I have written here, so you can understand easily. Right here we are going to apply to all columns. We are converting all columns into a string, whether they are integers, float, or whatever, we are going to convert into a string. So this syntax you have to write down, and I said this is equal to years. Instead of writing this again and again, if I will click execute years, you will see all the outputs in the form of a string. Now it will be much more easy when we will make our graph. Now is the filtering. Filtering based on a criteria. To filter the data frame based on a condition, we simply pass the condition as a Boolean vector. Now what is the meaning of Boolean vector? First, our scenario is create the condition Boolean. Boolean means it will give you answer in the form of true and false. So I said this is my data frame name, and in the square bracket I said continent equal Asia. I need all those countries which are in Asia. This is my condition, and I said this is equal to condition. This may because instead of writing all this again and again, I said it is equal to condition. I will print condition. Condition is the variable. So you will see in the result is in the form of Boolean. Afghanistan is true. True means yes, it belongs to Asia. Albania, right, American, this Angola, all this. False means these, they do not belong to Asia. True means they belong to Asia, right? How simple it is. This is the filter. You can check all these countries. Zambia, see, false. Yemen, yes, true. This is true. Vietnam is true. So it means true means they belong to Asia, and false means no, they do not belong to Asia. Pass this condition into the data frame. So for data frame, you have to use the square bracket. Click when you will run this, you will see all these Asia, 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 all the countries which belong to Asia, and we have all this record. Now, we can pass multiple criteria. It's not necessary that you can apply only one criteria at a time. You can apply two or three. But when the two conditions are true, you said I need both conditions should be true. So we, this is called and, we have to use the and operator. Sometimes we say either this or this. If we will use or, then you have to use the pipe symbol. So I will show you here. Here it says let's filter for continent is Asia. So see, this is continent is Asia, and second condition, region should be Southern Asia. So this is my data frame name. I said continent equal Asia, and means both conditions should be true. When I will run it, you will see the output. All the countries belongs to Asia, and the region is Southern Asia. So we have only 5 records out of 179. We have only 5 records in which the countries belong to Asia and the region is Southern Asia. So both condition, if both condition should be true, you have to use and. If it says Asia or region is equal to this, either this or this, then you have to use this pipe symbol, and this pipe symbol you will find out on your keyboard besides the enter key. On the left side of the enter key you have to press shift and that key, you will get this symbol. Right now this is your homework. Instead of this make a pipeline and run it. Your output should be more than 5 records, because either this or this. Now, before going to proceed, let's review the changes we have made to our data frame. So here data dimension and then columns, and we will check only 2 records. So when we will see it, so see now we have 38 columns. Initially we had 43 columns. We drop some columns, we add one total columns at the end. These are our records. These are the new name of our columns, and all the years are now string instead of integer. See, the data type is object. Object means strings. And I will show you our two output. You will see. Right. So first and second part of our questions are clear now. Now the last part is visualizing data using matplotlib. So here I have written some information about the matplotlib. Matplotlib is standard Python visualization library. The primary plotting library we will explore in this course is matplotlib. What is the matplotlib? Is a Python 2D plotting library which produces publication quality figures in a variety of hard copy formats and interactive environments across platforms. Matplotlib we can use on Jupyter Notebook, which we are using, web application servers, Python scripts, Python, IPython shell, and 4 graphical user interface. If you want to present your data to your audience in an attractive way, then you have to use the matplotlib. And when we import matplotlib.pyplot, so what is the meaning of pyplot? Here I have written each pyplot function make some changes to the figure. See, whatever graph we have made, if we want to add later on some labels, some markers, some title, we can do this by plot function. Right now we are going to visualize our data. We have to import matplotlib as mpl, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, means for plotting purposes. And this is the magic function. Magic function always starts with person sign. So person matplotlib in line, when I will execute it, so it means it is executing and it is done successfully. If you want to check matplotlib version, so print, you have to write down this syntax, and it is 2.0.2. Matplotlib version is there. Now question is, plot a line graph of immigration from Australia. Right, there are different graphs, but line graph is by default. So in this lesson we will learn line graph from Australia. So using how you have to write down your data frame name and dot plot. So first we will extract the data series from Australia. Australia is equal to, this is the important point, I have to come back here. So keep in mind Australia is equal to, this is our data frame name dot log, right? Dot log. If we are using log function, you have to write down only label, the name of the country, and then years. What is years? Remember, in the above cell we have made year is equal to some syntax. So this is year, and when I will run it, you will see the top 10, 1980, 702 people were migrated from Australia, 1981, 639, and so on. So this is our data. Now is the plotting. So plotting is very easy. Just write down Australia means series dot p plot, or plot, sorry, not p plot, plot. Plotting in pandas. Fortunately, pandas has a built-in implementation of matplotlib. So see here, I have written some information. I will show you very slowly so you can read it. Right, only you have to write down dot plot method to the series or data frame. So this is my series. When I will run it, you will see the graph is there. See, these are the years and this is the population. These people were coming. So you can see that in 1980, 700 people were migrated, and then it was decreasing, and then the trend was increasing. But very easy. If you will see your data frame Excel file, it is difficult to analyze. First you have to find out Australia, then year by year you have to see, but with the help of this graph, easily you can see that in 2013 there was a spike. High number of people were migrated from Australia to Canada in 2013. But if we will present this graph to some audience, right, it will be difficult for them. They do not know what is on the x-axis, what is on the y-axis, and so on. But pandas automatically, years is the index, right? So here I have written some information that is very informative for you, that pandas automatically populated the x-axis with the index value years and the y-axis with the column values population. However, notice how the years were not displayed because they are type is string. Therefore, let's change the type of the string value to integer. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, here I have used only one country, Australia, right? Australia, and we have a graph. So, by default, pandas automatically populated on x-axis the index value. This is our index, and this is how it is indexed. I will show you here. See here, this one. This is the series, this is the index, this is the population. So automatically it will take these 1980, 81, 82 and so on the x-axis, and this is on the y-axis. Now we want to convert back this to integer because it was a string now. So australia.index is equal to australia.index.map, and then here you have to write down integer. What comment I have written here? Let's change the index values of Australia to type integer for plotting. And if you want, you can add some color. Color is equal to red, marker is equal to D, right? How you have to write down? Make your plot Australia dot plot kind is equal to line, whatever you want, bar chart or pie chart or whatever chart. So kind is equal to, I said line because we are learning line. These are our title, plt dot title. This should be the title. When I will run it, you will see the output. And see, these are the markers. I said diamond, D means diamond. If you want, you can change the color and play with it. So see, now the labels are there, and these are the years, these are the numbers of immigrants, and this is the title. It is more easy to show to our audience, right? And now here we can see the spike is here, so we can annotate. Means if you want, you can write down something here as well. I will show you how you can write down. So we can clearly notice how many number of immigrants from Australia spiked up from 2013. Let's annotate, right, this spike. So everything is same. Australia dot plot kind is equal to line. If you do not want any color or marker, there is no need. So right, only to show you, I have written here. Everything is here same here. Plt dot text. This is for the text. What is the meaning of this 205 and 1100? Because 1100 is on the y-axis, 2005 on the pixels on the x-axis. And then I have to write down at the intersection of these 2 points, 2013 immigrants. Okay, I will run it, then it will be much more clear to you. See here, 2013 immigrants at this point, right? If you want, you can increase or decrease this number. If I will say, okay, make it 1200, and here make it 20 15. So when I will execute it, you will see now my this text is here. So this one, this represent x-axis, this represent y-axis, and this is our text, right? So I will show you here where you want to write down your text. Make Select some pixels from here, from on the y-axis, and it will here, 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 here. It's up to you where you want to annotate, but usually because this is the highest point, we can write down here. It is much better. Okay, now our question is, let's compare the number of immigrants from Austria and Belgium from 1980 to 2013. Right, this is our question. So first of all, first step is get the data set for Austria and Belgium and display the data frame. So here I said my data frame name is data frame, CI means Canadian immigration, and when I will run it, you will see this is the data frame. These are the numbers for these two countries. Right, if I will show you here and here. Okay, now again my data frame dot plot kind is equal to line. When I will draw it, you will see how the output looks like. See here, two countries, but there are too many lines. What is this? Who will read this graph? Right, too complicated. So what is the reason why I got this kind of graph? So here I have written pandas plots are indices on the x-axis and the columns as individual lines on the y-axis. Since this is my data frame, right, df underscore cia is the data frame with the country as the index, because we have made country as an index and years as the column. We must first take the transpose of the data frame using the transpose, because pandas, what pandas does, it takes the years on x-axis, right? But in this case our countries are on the x-axis. That is why we have to take the transpose. So this is the syntax for the transpose, and see here when I will run this, so you will see now this is the years are our indices and the countries are our columns. Now same thing if we will make our graph. See here I have written and I have converted this to integer. When I will run it, you will see, sorry, I want this line chart, not the bar chart. Okay. See now these two countries, how easy to read it. Now my years are on the x-axis and my population or numbers of immigrants are from on the y-axis. Blue one is the Austria and this is the Belgium, and you can say the trend in Belgium, the highest peak was here and then it was declining, increasing, declining. Same is for Austria, is too less compared to Belgium. If you want, you can try two countries, three countries and four countries, but keep in mind this year should be on the x-axis and numbers of immigrants should be on the y-axis. If they are not, then you have to take the transpose of your data frame. Note here, how come we did not need to transpose Australia data frame before plotting like we did for this one? For two countries, this is one of the most important question, right? When we were making here, we did not take the, I will show you. That's why I said we have to come back here. In case of Australia, there was only one country, right? But if we are taking two countries, we have to take the transpose. It means I will show you here. Why? What is the reason? Australia was the that is because Australia is the series as opposed to the data frame and has the years as its indices as shown below. So print type Australia, I will show you when I will run it. See, this is the series. Australia was the series and this is the data frame. We have two or three or four countries. That is why we have to take the transpose. I hope this concept is clear, right? This next question is compare the trend of top 5 countries that contributed most immigration to Canada. So in place true parameter saves the changes to the original data frame, and see you have to write down these three. This is the data frame top 5, whatever name you want you can give to this variable, and when I will run it, you will see Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Poland, Lebanon, and Jamaica, right? This data is not 100% true. So these are the top 5 countries. And the last I have written that there are many other plotting styles which we will learn in this course, but for bar chart you can write down bar, for horizontal, so I will show you what is the meaning of this, and for pie chart, area chart, all these kind of charts we will learn in this course. See here, if I will write down instead of this line, I want a bar chart, so only write down bar and execute it. You will see the vertical lines in the output. The blue is the Austria and the orange is the Belgium. If you want the horizontal, then kind is equal to bar age and execute it. So you will get the horizontal bar lines, right? So all you can try now with the pie chart. With the pie chart, for the box chart, the scatter chart, there are different charts. All these we will learn in this course. So I hope this lesson is clear, right? We explored the data set using matplotlib. We applied some basic functions, we applied some intermediate functions, and then we visualize our data by using the matplotlib. So please practice it. See you in the next lesson, and thank you. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.